once again. This is Dr. Bill Bailey, and this is VirtZine. VirtZine is the online magazine of virtualization and cloud computing, and I am glad you could join us for another VirtZine here. We are proud members of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on the VirtZine Netcast. Now, we got some stuff we want to talk about here on VirtZine that has to do with virtualization and cloud computing, of course. And we've got some neat stuff to talk about. VMware has changed a lot of things around. VMware, you know, is, of course, I'm a VMware engineer, server engineer at High Point Regional Health System in High Point. And I tell you what, VMware has been awesome for us. And I use VMware for practically everything. Matter of fact, I run Citrix XenApp, and I run my entire Citrix XenApp farm on VMware. Everything is virtualized, from the SQL Server database server all the way to the application servers, the data collector servers, all the management servers, everything. Web servers for the web interface, everything is running on VMware. So I'm big into VMware. So here's the thing. VMware also has a product called View. And we've been using View to push out VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure, workstations throughout the whole hospital, clinical workstations. We have 800 clinical workstations that we use through View. Well, VMware has changed the name of View, used to be just called VMware View, to VMware Horizon View. They now have a Horizon Suite, okay? And that name change is accompanied by some new products and some new directions and things that they're doing. One of the things that they have done is they've released an HTML5 version of their Horizon View client. Okay? Now, that's pretty cool. It's called HTML Access for VMware Horizon View. And it's really cool. We've been experimenting with it, playing with it, you know, getting it working there at work, and I've really enjoyed that. I will say this, I talked to a VMware, you know, actual employee of VMware, engineer, who shall remain nameless in case this isn't what he wants generally known. But in talking with him about it, he was saying, keep in mind that the HTML viewer is cool and it's slick and it's fast, but you do lose a few features, okay? It's not PCOIP. It's running, obviously, over HTML5. So, you know, it's not as quick. You don't have USB connectivity to connect your USB devices like you would if you used the full client. There's other limitations. So he's basically saying, you know, where you can, you probably ought to use the regular client. But the HTML5 client is cool because there's nothing to download. There's nothing to install, okay? You just hit a web page, type in your access information, your username, password, and bam, you are using View, Horizon View, through the new HTML5 client. So that's pretty cool. I really am getting a kick out of playing with that. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about briefly is that Steve Wozniak, the Woz, who helped Steve Jobs come up with Apple, okay? Famous for Apple computing, famous for phone hacking. He was big into that, talking about the Woz. You know, he is now with a company. Let's see, what is the name of the company that he is with? I'll find that here in just a minute. Fusion.io. He's with Fusion.io, and he did a whiteboard. They call it whiteboarded because it's all drawn, you know, on a whiteboard. Whiteboarding with the Woz is this YouTube video they've got. I'd love to be able to play it here on the netcast, but I'm not sure how that would work in terms of, you know, who owns the video. And I'm sure Fusion.io does, but I'm not sure what their copyrights are and so forth, so I won't be able to play it. But if you go to our website, VirtZine.com, VirtZine.com, you can click on the video and you can actually watch it right there at the VirtZine website. And he gets into and explains virtualization, how it works, what it's about, why it's so powerful. And, you know, it's pretty good. Now, there's a sales pitch in there, okay, but still it's a good plain language explanation of server virtualization and what it's all about. So it's kind of cool. Plus, it's just kind of fun that it's the Woz. You know what I'm saying? I really kind of get a kick out of listening to the Woz because he's a character. So that's kind of fun. And then here's something that's a news item that's really hot off the press, but it's bizarre to me. And that is that Red Hat has tapped as their chief virtualization person a former Microsoft employee. What? How weird is that? Okay, this guy, they announced that former Microsoft executive Radhesh Balakrishnan, and I may be getting only very close to that. I hope I'm not ruining his name too much in terms of pronunciation. But anyway, he will lead its virtualization efforts. Now, this guy was overseeing, virtualization efforts at Microsoft, but now he's going to be Red Hat's OpenStack and enterprise virtualization technology, overlord. That's not the term I'm sure they'd use, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, Red Hat as an open source provider has been using cloud and virtualization technologies in most of its products for a very long time. But this guy is going to come in and take all of that over. And in the past, he has worked, of course, with Hyper-V and Microsoft Azure and other cloud-based platforms. So it's going to be really interesting to see what this is all about and what's it going to mean in the long run. But you kind of got to love that a Microsoft guy has come to Red Hat. Pretty wild. So anyway, wanted to mention that. And remember, until next time, keep your head in the cloud.